What's up, Go Backs? Welcome back to another episode of the Game Clock. I'm your host, Swagmaster Flex, and let's get straight into it. First and foremost, the first half of the NBA season has concluded, which means a few things. First, AllStar Weekend is upon us. Last night was the AllStar Draft, and in my humble opinion, Team LeBron looks like the team to beat, with faces such as the Greek Freak, Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, and Paul George. Obviously, both teams are made up of the best the league has to offer, so there's no way I could just write off Team Durant, with names such as Bradley Beal, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Julius Randle. So let me know who you guys think will win. With the first half of the season over and the next half incoming, we now have an unclear picture on the teams competing for a playoff spot in both conferences. Some may surprise you, like the Knicks being tied with the Celtics for fourth in the East. This year, with the addition of the playoff tournament and the play-in tournament at the end of the season, the top 10 teams from each division are relevant instead of the usual top 8. So the top 10 in the West right now, the Jazz are number 1, having a monster season, 27-9, haven't even hit double-digit losses yet. The Suns are second with 24-11, showing us remnants of the bubble Suns, which is what we saw at the end of last season. The Lakers, which were the number 1 seed last year, surprisingly are 24-13, and out of their last 10 are 3-7. So they're having a little bit of trouble down there. You know, Anthony Davis has been dealing with some injuries, so I'm sure they'll figure out what they're doing the second half of the season and continue to make that playoff push. They're still my favorite to win the championship this season. At number 4, the Clippers are 24-14, which doesn't surprise me. The Clippers usually have regular season success, and that's their problem. They can't transfer the regular season success into the postseason, and they end up getting knocked out, and a waste of potential in my opinion. Number 5 is the Trailblazers, 20-14. The Trailblazers are never really that huge of a threat to anyone. They're never really a favorite coming out of the conference. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, that team's just been dealing with injuries and COVID and things like that. So this record is not surprising to me. The Nuggets at 6 with 21-15. Their regular season record is not as important as, say, the Lakers. As long as they make it to the playoffs, because as you can see, they made it to the playoffs in the bubble, and they unexpectedly had an amazing playoff run. Jamal Murray had a playoff run to be talked about for the ages. So, obviously, the Nuggets' regular season success usually doesn't impose on their postseason success. Number 7 are the Spurs, 18-14. Number 8 are the Mavericks, 18-16. And something interesting about the Mavericks is that the Knicks have their 2021 draft pick. So the Mavericks are having a surprisingly poor season to start off. They'll probably get better as the year goes on. Obviously, playoffs are coming up. This break is going to be great for a lot of the players. So who knows? But if they continue to have a poor season, the Knicks will land into a great draft pick and will be able to build off some young talent once again. Number 9 are the Warriors. They're 19-17, and that also doesn't surprise me. Clay's out. All that's left from the 2016 Warriors are Clay, Steph, Draymond, and Steve Kerr. And Steph and Draymond are the only ones playing. They're playing with a lot of young people, so they just got to get into that rhythm. They're not a super team anymore, so Steph Curry looks a lot more human out there than when he was out there running back-to-back championships. Grizzlies are 16-16. They're currently sitting at 500. The Grizzlies have been hit with a lot of postponements due to COVID, so 16-16 is a low record. So I think with the second half of the season, they'll be playing a lot of their games that were postponed, so they'll be able to make up some of those games they missed, those potential wins. Now on to the East, the 76ers are first, which is good to see because Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid have been a duo that they've been trying to get to work for a long time now, and health simply has not allowed it. This year, they're working really well together. They're meshing. Tobias Harris is a big part of what's going on down there. So Philly looks great. The Nets are number 2, 24-13. Obviously, probably the best offensive team in the league. They're averaging well beyond the average amount of points for an NBA team, which is great. However, everybody knows their defense is their problem. Defense wins championships. Offense wins tickets. I say that all the time. So the Nets need to figure out their defensive woes. The trade deadline's coming up. Maybe they can pick up somebody to help them defensively. But if they are really looking forward to pushing for a championship, they need to work on their defense. The Bucks are third, 22-14. Obviously, Giannis is still averaging pretty much the same numbers he was averaging the year before. However, I don't think he's going to be MVP again this year. Voter fatigue is something that's really big. He's won back-to-back, and nobody really wants to. I mean, sure, it'd be cool to see a back-to-back-to-back winner, but voters don't like voting back-to-back-to-back. So likely we'll see a new MVP this year. And number 5, the New York Knicks are 19-18. They are above 500. This point in the season is the latest we've ever been above 500 since that 2012-13 season with Carmelo Anthony. So Tibbs is doing great things with those guys in the Garden, so let's see where that leads us. Obviously, it looks like we might make a potential playoff push. With the trade deadline coming up, the Knicks are surrounded in a bunch of trade rumors as usual, so we'll see if we pick anybody up, who we dish out, and how that will prepare us for the offseason. Hornets are 17-18. So they're below 500 right now. Gordon Hayward's having a career season. I expect that to turn around. I expect this record to get a little bit better as we're going. However, that 6th spot might be where they stay. They might flirt around with that 6, 7, 8 spot because all the other teams are improving. The teams who have started off to a poor start, this break is going to give them the break that they need to come in and start making better playoff pushes. So number 7 are the Heat, 17-18. They have been dealing with a lot of injuries. Jimmy Butler has not played that many games. So with him coming back, with him, Tyler Hero, Goran Dragic, all those great people, they'll be working really hard coming into the playoff push because obviously they made the finals last year. It'd be terrible if they finished just 7th in the division coming up. So number 8 are the Raptors, 17-19. The Raptors started off terrible season, had a terrible start to the season, and now they're dealing with a whole lot of COVID woes, and that comes from the coaches aren't wearing their masks properly, and that has led to super spreader events. So now the Raptors are dealing with a lot of postponements, not enough players to play games, so the Raptors are in deep trouble right now. The Bulls are number 9, 16-18. Zach LaVine is an all-star. Zach LaVine, in my opinion, is an underrated all-star. He's dropping however many points a game. He's shooting lights out, and he makes the people around him better. So the Bulls, however, have ever since Michael Jordan left, they've been struggling a lot. So that pattern's continuing this year. Maybe there's some positives coming in the next half of the season, but we'll see. I really don't expect any. And number 10 are the Pacers, 16-19. They recently lost Victor Oladipo. I think that's what's hurting them right now. They still have great players like Malcolm Brogdon and, of course, Sabonis. So I think that 10 will definitely improve. They'll probably make it to the top 8. But like I said, 9 and 10 are now relevant because 9 and 10 get to compete in that play-in tournament for the 7 and 8 spots. So that'll be something we look forward to at the end of the year. And All-Star break is coming up, so I hope we enjoy that and enjoy this week off. So I'll see you guys next week, and thanks for watching.